very remarkable story that kind of lends into what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. So, you guys, ladies, take it away.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me here today. I'm really glad that I get to come and visit and see what you guys are doing with the cord blood industry. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. I was born with Fanconi's anemia, which is a very rare blood disorder. It's basically the genetic form of aplastic anemia. I was diagnosed when I was 13 months old, and basically I was given a life expectancy of about 10 years. And my parents were told that without a bone marrow transplant, I would die. So they immediately started trying to conceive a sibling for me that would be a match for my bone marrow transplant. So they had my first sister Audrey, but before I tell you this, there's a 1 in 4 chance that the sisters or that my other siblings would also be affected with the same genetic disorder that I had. So they were taking a huge leap, to just conceive to any other children. So they had my first sister Audrey, and Audrey's 2 years younger than me, and Audrey was perfectly healthy. So that was the first obstacle that they overcame. Audrey wasn't a match, and so they just kept trying and trying, and 1 year later they had my sister Emily. Emily, once again, did not have Fanconi's anemia, and she was a perfect match. And her HLA typing was actually a 6 out of 6, so she was dead on. Couldn't have been more perfect match had she have been an identical twin. So, I mean, my parents, you can imagine, they were jumping for joy. They had hope for my survival at this point. So then, my parents took me all over the country to see, different doctors, the best doctors that were out there. When my mom was pregnant with Emily, she was on bed rest. She was doing a lot of research just about childbirth in general, and came across, cord blood and what's going to happen to the cord blood after Emily's born, and then she discovered, well, cord blood actually contains, blood, and it's filled with stem cells, and so she contacted some of her doctors, and those doctors were actually, were like, oh, wow, we were going to contact you and see if you wanted to maybe be, involved in this new clinical stuff that we're researching on by saving Emily's cord blood. So the day of Emily's birth, there were 13 doctors and nurses in attendance. I mean, it was a big day because it was so revolutionary. I mean, this was 1988. I think 88. So 1988, and I mean, it was very revolutionary. So they saved Emily's cord blood, and it was frozen in Indianapolis, Indiana, because I'm originally from Indiana, born in Indiana. Then when my counts began to get to the point where they were dangerous enough to have the transplant, we flew to Paris, France for the transplant. We had to go to Paris because it was so revolutionary at the time that the FDA hadn't even approved it yet. So it was very hush-hush, and it was a big secret, and also financial issues played a role in going to Paris, France, and also they had a higher success rate with their research of cord blood and stem cells over there at the time. So when I was 4, my mom and dad and Emily and my grandma all flew to Paris, and the transplant was a huge success. And so after that, basically, I just had a very, normal childhood. I mean, I was followed really closely by doctors, of course, and I had numerous procedures, but nothing major. But in 2006, we were faced with another obstacle. I had a kidney transplant, but the most remarkable thing about it is, I'm so happy to say that I survived 1 transplant, but I survived 2 transplants, and what makes it so incredible is that since I had the cord blood transplant from Emily, our blood is still identical. Our tissues are still identical. Everything's identical. So when they took Emily's kidney from her body and put it in mine, my body immediately recognized it as my own. So, I mean, I still don't have to take any anti-rejection medication. I take 0 medication having anything to do with any transplantation, which is just amazing. I mean, I'm sure, as you know, everybody who has a transplant has to take some form of medication for their entire life. So, I mean, my quality of life is much improved thanks to having the stem cell transplant, all those years ago. And I mean, we're coming up on 21 years since the cord blood transplant this August, right? August, yeah. This August will be 21 years since my cord blood transplant. And so I decided to make it my mission in life and dedicate everything I have to cord blood awareness. I think stem cells are the future of medicine. Everything's going to go that direction. It's only a matter of time before it is used for common, to treat various medical conditions, not just blood disorders, injuries, everything. So, I've developed my 2 websites. It started with nataliecurry.com, which was just kind of like a blog type of website, that gave weekly updates, what's going on in stem cell research. And what I did was kind of make it relatable to, just everybody who, can't sit there and, read through the medical jargon, like they just don't understand it. So I just made it relatable to everybody. And then it kind of, because I got so much response from that, I thought, I'll just develop a website just all about cord blood. So that led me to allaboutcordblood.com, which features, recent medical articles that are going on with stem cell research. It features live webinars. And these webinars are hosted by me, and then, we have special guests, and we focus on specific topics. Like our last one was about private versus public cord blood banking, and just a lot of the, misunderstandings in the industry between the two. And we also, I have an ebook on there that it's a free downloadable ebook that's it's being updated now. Right now it's a pretty short read that, just for expectant parents. The whole website's just geared to expectant parents and trying to make it a one-stop place where they can get easy to navigate and understand, here's what it is, and so that's basically it. And so I'm out here in California just trying to promote cord blood preservation. So, and my mom's with me, and so